All right, Cougar fans, we are back with another episode of the CougConnect podcast. And this evening, we're joined by a very special guest, BYU quarterback, McCae Hillstead. McCae, how you doing, man?
Good. Yeah, doing well. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Dude, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks. No, I appreciate it. I was excited when you reached out, and I was excited all the way up to this point. And I'm here, and I'm excited to finish it. So let's do it.
Yeah, dude. So obviously, quarterback at BYU.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a fortunate situation at BYU to have multiple quarterbacks who have D1 starting experience elsewhere.
Yeah.
So you're in a lot of ways, you're a vet compared to a lot of people in quarterback rooms across the country. Tell us about that. Like, tell us about your football journey, kind of when you maybe started playing quarterback, when you maybe started seeing interest from college programs, and then just that whole journey. Let us know all about that.
Yeah. So I grew up in Springville, Utah. So not far from here. And I think I played like running back and receiver just all growing up. I think like around here you start tackle football in like 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when I decided, okay, I want to get the ball in my hands pretty much every play. Cause that's just the thing that I like to do is just make plays really. So then I started playing quarterback. I was around here. And then I think when I really started getting passionate about football, I think around 7th grade, I started training, doing a lot of quarterback training, just focusing on my mechanics. And then, I played all the way up. And then my 9th grade season, I was the backup quarterback at Springville. And then COVID hit. So crazy times. I was playing 7-on-7 with a bunch of guys up in Lehigh, Lone Peak, Skyridge area. And they're just like, hey, man, we don't really have a quarterback this year at Skyridge, and there's an open opportunity. And obviously being a bigger school, 6A, and, a team that is competing in the state playoffs every single year and always has a solid team. I'm like, man, that's a good opportunity. So, I spoke a lot with my family and my mom, and we actually ended up moving to Lehigh from Springville. And then I started 3 years there at Skyridge. Had an interesting journey there, obviously, like, being an undersized quarterback, it's interesting getting recruited, because, I know I have all the skill, but like there's, it takes a certain amount of gumption for a coach to like, hey, I'm going to go out and offer this kid that's undersized because we don't know how that's going to pan out. So my recruiting journey was interesting. I had opportunities early. Got my first offer, I think, within like 5 games of the season of my sophomore year to Nevada.
Man.
Yeah, which was really cool, because, you don't know if you're going to go D1, you don't know what's going to happen. Then kind of when you do that, I'm like, man, yeah, it's kind of, obviously you don't feel like you've hit a point, you're, like you don't want to be a prima donna, but it's like, yeah, well, I earned that, so that was cool. But I didn't really feel like I was getting the offers that I wanted, because I wanted to play. Yeah, I think everybody wants to play at the highest level, Power 5 and playing those big games in front of all those people. And that just wasn't really happening. I had teams here and there that were interested. And going into my senior year, I really thought like, hey, this is going to be the year where I just pop off and then I'm going to get all these opportunities. But I got injured 4th game into the season, and I just wiped out my ankle, and I was able to come back, and we were actually able to take state, which was cool. That was a big goal of mine, but I was committed to Utah State up to that point. So that's just where I went. And yeah, I don't know if I'm straying too far from your question.
No,
but
continue, please.
Yeah, I'll just keep going. But yeah, so went up to Utah State, and I was injured because, long story short, I came back a little bit too fast. I think I was just eager to get back in, and I knew that my team was super talented, and we had guys like Tassili Akana, like he's on our team right now, and he's one of my good buddies, and Smith Snowden, he's another good buddy of mine. Just a bunch of really good players. I'm like, man, this is our year. And Skyridge had never, they'd been to state championships before, but they'd never won. So we're like, man, we got to go do it. So I'm like, okay, I got to rehab.
And it was a big game. You played Corner Canyon, right?
Yeah.
In that game?
Yeah.
And we had another very good team.
Right. And we had never really, we got close. Like my sophomore year playing Jackson Dart, I think we lost by 3 points.
Yeah.
We got close, but we'd never really beat Corner Canyon. Like there was times we got close, but it's a team we never really could beat. And we had I wasn't playing, but we had lost to them in the regular season.
Yeah.
So we played Bingham in the semis, and then we played corner. Like, okay, this is a big game. It's time to do it. So kind of on one leg, I went out there and tried to get it done in any way that I could. And
Pull the Robbie Bosco.
Yeah, that's right. And it worked out, state champ. So that was cool. But then, went up to Utah State, and I had stress fractures all on my ankle just along the plate where they put it in. It's just tightrope surgery. And I was just in a boot for a long time, so I didn't really get that much opportunity in spring. But then summer rolled around, and I'm kind of back into my regular form. I'm getting in better shape. I'm lifting and running, and lo and behold, like, the coaches realized, like, man, McCae can like really sling. And obviously that's why I was there in the first place, because they thought that, but I think they kind of like realized again. And then we just go throughout spring. I had a really good fall camp. I think just slowly stacking days and building days, and then coaches realized, like, hey, this is a guy that can play for us. So then a couple games in the season, we played a couple games. I got in kind of some garbage time against Idaho State, and then the coach was like, but I played really well, and they were like, hey, be ready. So then, going into that Air Force game, things took a certain turn, and then I got put in, and I was happy the way I played on the, within the circumstances. And then I got to start the following week against James Madison. And they were, they ended up, I think, going 11-2 throughout the year. Yeah, I think ended up being a top 25 team. And your first start as a true freshman in college, it's like, it's a lot, so you take that, you try to take that head on. And I played well, like you just cut it loose, and you just go ball. And I think I set the freshman record, that true freshman record, at Utah State, which was really cool. I think I threw for 399, not 400, but
almost.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I learned a lot of crucial lessons that game, and obviously had some successes, but it was super cool, like you said, getting that experience. And I played in other games throughout the course of that year and got some really good experience. You kind of figure out things you can and can't do, like in high school, it's
pretty forgiving.
Yeah, right. Like all the guys that, that are at BYU, all the best players on their team, they can get away with a lot. Like if you drop back, like, oh, I can go rush for 15.
Yeah.
And then you get to college, everyone's faster, the angles. Yeah, it's just like, it's a different game. So you got to figure out what you can and can't do. But within that, you don't want to be overly conservative. Like, oh, I don't want to like get tackled. It's like, you also figure out what you can do and the things you still can get away with. And that was big for me, and just, using my skill and my talent in those areas. And it was interesting season. I'm kind of ranting here, but I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. Look, with the story.
They want to hear from you, man. They don't want to hear from you. They want to hear from you.
Yeah,
so keep going.
Cool. Yeah. We played in the bowl game, so then we didn't have a great year.
Mm-hmm.
We went 6-6. Some ups and downs throughout the season. But then we played in the bowl game. I played in the bowl game towards the end of the game. And then, kind of going into after that season, I had a couple conversations with coaches. It was kind of like, oh, what are we going to do? And it was just weird conversations, really. And I think they were planning on redshirting me for whatever reason.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think really what it was is I think, I kind of got a sense that some bad things were brewing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that the coaches wanted to leave. So I think that what they were kind of telling me to do, and I found this out later when I was going to transfer, was like, hey, like, just stay. Trust me, we have a plan. There's a plan set here, which is kind of what it was. Because I want to compete for the spot. Like, I just played in 8 games. Like, I want to be competing in the spot. But I didn't really get a super great opportunity to do that. And so I'm like, all right, I got to go elsewhere. See, I want to see where I can go. I want to fulfill that dream of, playing at a bigger school if I can do that. And I didn't know that was going to be a possibility, really, but it ended up working out. But, I talked with the coach, and then we talked for like 6 hours just begging me not to leave, because he's like, hey, we have a plan in place here. Like, like I think the plan was redshirt, and then obviously coming in a few games towards the end of the season is kind of what they were saying.
When won't burn your red shirt. Yeah.
Right. And then I think they were planning on leaving, and then what happened, because I felt, like things were not going well there. And, we got a new athletic director, and then the coach ended up getting fired. So kind of the things that I was feeling was like, call it what you
validated.
want. Right.
Validated.
Yeah. So But yeah, so I ended up transferring. And like I said, I didn't really know what was gonna happen for me when I hit the portal. It's like there's a lack of surety there for sure.
Yeah.
But it actually turned out, really well for me. Obviously being here, like I love BYU, but just the whole process, like talking with schools and got some offers that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
From some pretty big programs, which was cool. But I mean, I kind of knew that I wanted to stay in Utah. So yeah, it came down between BYU and Utah really towards the end.
Always does.
Yeah. And then
right, Alema? Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a similar situation.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it came down to BYU and Utah, and then, I just think, like obviously you go through all, like, okay, what's logically going to be the best decision for me here? What's all these? But, when it came down to it, just being around, all the coaches and, like knowing some of the guys and just hearing by word of mouth, I was like, it's just a feeling. Like you just get a feeling like, oh yeah, I need to be here.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to other guys on the team too, like Parker.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, I need to be here. Like I need to, I got to commit, this is where I want to be. And that was the feeling that I had. So I committed and I redshirted last year and learned a lot. That was a good experience for me. And yeah, now we're here. So just gave a whole spiel of my backstory, but
no, that's what we wanted to know. So I got a couple questions off that.
Yeah.
How many schools did you think you talked to, if you had a guess, in the transfer portal?
I talked to a lot of schools.
Yeah.
I talked to 5 big schools.
Yeah.
And then I talked to a bunch of G5s,
Yeah.
kind of all over. But I had a offer from every power division after the port. Yeah, which was cool. It was validating because, I think a lot of coaches, it's like, oh, can he play at this level? Is he going to be able to do that? Which is the major drawback, with someone with my size, because, you have guys like Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield, like smaller guys that do it, but there's just in lower numbers.
Yeah, it's not as common.
Right. So there's like, is he going to be able to do it? And then you go out and play and you play well. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then it gets figured out, because I didn't have an offer from BYU or Utah out of high school.
Yeah.
No. So it's like, and then, first schools to offer me right as I got in the portal.
Yes.
So it just changes just like that.
Yeah. So it's funny because I think I watched several of your practices in spring ball, and you did get a lot of reps, which I thought was nice.
Yeah.
Seemed like right after Jake, you were kind of getting the bulk of the reps, I would guess, based off of the periods I saw. I didn't see everything, but
yeah.
But you were very cautious with the ball, and we have a great defense, and you're going against the ones.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Uh-huh.
But I saw you on the practice field, not the far back one, but one of the closer ones on the east side. I saw you convert, I don't know if it was like a 3rd and 18 or a 4th and 18 with your feet up that west sideline, the far sideline by the bushes over there. You drop back, survey the field. Everything's pretty well locked down. We got a great defense, like I said.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like you panicked. It was like you kind of craftily extended the pocket and then just took off down that side, and everyone was in man, so their backs were all to you, and you picked it up. And so I think a lot of people think, oh, that's what makes McCae special, is his ability with his feet. But when I talk to some of your teammates who were at Utah State with you, they're like, that's not what makes McCae special. What makes McCae special is how fast the ball comes out of his hand. Like, everyone talks about arm talent and the different angles and the strength, but also there's like that hand talent of being able to just get it out of quick release out of your hands. Several guys who like caught balls for you and stuff are like, that ball just rifles out of there. So I'm wondering, if you had to pick, which one is it? What do you think is like your defining attribute as a quarterback?
That's a good question. I would say that's something that I always took pride in, like being able to get the ball out fast. And that's something that I trained. I spend hours in my basement. I'd set up a net. My mom would come and film me, and we'd do slow-mo. I was like, how do I get this a little tighter? All that stuff, So that's something I took a lot of pride in, and I think it just comes naturally. You just do it a bunch. But, I think I really take pride in is just being a playmaker. I think that, when it comes down to it, like, I'm going to be able to go through a progression. I'm going to be able to identify, okay, man or zone, where can I attack the defense? And then if there's an open spot, I'm going to go. Yeah. And it's not like I'm preemptively saying, okay, I'm going to run on this play, or, okay, like, I don't want to throw. I'm just going to sit in the pocket or get sacked. Like, I don't think anybody really plays a position like that, but I think I have the ability to think on my feet, and then I think I have the tools, Like, so I don't got to think about it,
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to throw it far down the field. I'm just going to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, and obviously that's not one specific thing, but I think I take pride in being kind of a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And I think I'd say that's my skill, is just being well-rounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that lends you really well to the system that A-Rod runs. I think our most successful quarterbacks we've had have had that ability to hurt the people with their feet as well as with their arm, not exclusively like one or the other. They've been a very well-rounded player, like you're mentioning. So I think that does kind of lend things well for you in the system that you're playing in now.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because at Utah State, where the quarterbacks are like, don't run. So then I get to BYU and the coach is like, okay, let's use our legs, or okay, we're going to run a scheme as to where you're kind of the primary guy that's going to take off. I'm like, let's go, because it's exciting. Because like back in high school, we had you're reading the end or you're doing a lot of things where it's either you or the back. But we ran a lot of protected runs at Utah State, and the coaches just kind of didn't want us to, get injured, playing. And I don't like to play scared, Like I want to go and get it. I want to play.
You can't play scared. You'll hesitate.
Right, for sure.
Like you can't. You just got to go.
Yeah. So that was something cool. Like I got to BYU, and it's like, yeah, we can run the ball. Yeah, we're gonna do this with the quarterback. I'm like, oh yeah, sweet, let's go.
And A-Rod, he's done a good job with it, man. Even Keaton Slovis, who's a great quarterback, he's in the NFL, obviously, but if you go rate the agility of all the quarterbacks we've had over the last 5 or 6 years, he's probably near the bottom somewhere. Which he ran like a crazy 40.
Yeah, he was fast.
He's fast. I gotta say he's not athletic or anything. But even he ran the ball well in the system several times.
Yeah.
And so I think A-Rod, as one of the little feathers in his cap, is that he knows how to use his quarterbacks and keep defenses honest by inserting the quarterback in that
for sure
run game equation there.
Yeah. Hey, Cougar Nation. Make sure you subscribe to CougConnect to get all your inside information about all the things that are going on with BYU football and BYU sports. Go Cougs. Yeah. I know, and we protect the quarterback, or, protect us really well. That's what he does super well. Like a lot of, 6-man, 7-man protections, and guys were chipping out there, not just running into the flat, which definitely helps, Like we ran a lot of 5-man protections at Utah State. You get banged up.
Oh, for sure.
And there isn't that, like, you have a little bit more freedom. Like if you're not getting hit every play, or you're not getting, just tapped after every play, you have a little bit more within you to take and carry the ball. Yeah. So that's a big thing for sure.
Yeah, dude, I think it's going to be an interesting season. I think we've got obviously great defense.
Yeah.
Phenomenal special teams. If it's anything like last year, they're fantastic.
Yeah. And
then we've got so much returning talent on offense too. I think the O-line is going to take a step up from everything I've heard from players and coaches. I think a lot of people are wondering about like the quarterback room right now. Like there's 3 of you. Maybe, I guess we could say 4, really. But there's like 4 of you who probably are, I don't know, I'm guessing you're going to have a competition in fall camp.
Yeah.
2 of you have started D1 games and shown some nice stuff on tape. Bear is a young buck, but he's got like a very high ceiling.
Yeah.
What is it like being in the quarterback room right now? Like, what's the kind of the vibe there?
Yeah. Honestly, really good vibes.
Yeah.
I think the team as a unit, everyone wants the same thing, and that's the Big 12 championship. We got super close last year, difference of 1 game, really. And I think everyone's united, and I think that leaks into the quarterback room. And I think that, like, I've been in selfish quarterback rooms before, where it's just, this is my agenda, and I'm going to kind of force it upon guys.
Yeah.
And that's not, I don't even think that's good for the person that's doing that.
No, it backfires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think everyone knows that, like, hey, if someone else is performing well, then that's going to push me. And that's the mindset I have, is like, okay, yeah, bring it on. And it's not like, oh, like me against you, really. It's like I'm trying to play against myself, really. But then we're just rising the overall talent of everybody in the team. And that's just going to make me better ultimately as well. So I think, really good vibes, like we lift together every day and we're joking around with each other. Yeah, no, I'm good buddies with all those guys. So yeah.
That's cool. So we had, my guy, Keelan, one of my favorite guys on the whole roster. He just, up and leaves us for Miami. Like, thanks a lot, Keelan, bro. I hope you're watching this, Keelan. I hope like, I'm still hurt about that. But I think Keelan I saw him do some really special things in spring. I think he was having a good spring, and he'll do well at Miami. I don't doubt that for a second. But it feels like there's a whole bunch of young wide receivers behind him that are talented and also like hungry for minutes.
Yep.
And you throw with these guys, you're working with these guys doing one-on-ones or just even pat and goes and whatever, running your routes on air. Is it who kind of stands out to you as some special guys in that? I know you can't name everybody and you probably should, but like who are some guys who like stand out to you?
I think, like obviously our starting guys, Chase, JoJo, Parker, Cody Hagan's going to get a lot of reps this year. He's going to be, big in our jet sweep game, just, super speed basically. But then we got a lot of guys like obviously Tay Nakua, LeMason. I'm thinking of all the guys here, but really all the guys can fill a spot where like I wouldn't be worried if really any of those guys are playing.
Yeah.
I think you do got to figure out the game, and there are some nuances like, okay, kind of like what we talked about, like, oh, I can get away with this, I can't get away with that.
Yeah.
And you got to figure that out. But like once you do that, and there's other guys like Rowan Ray.
Yeah.
That's a good buddy of mine and really solid player.
Underappreciated.
Yeah. And there's a lot of guys that can just step in and fill roles.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be any second guessing, and we don't got to think twice about any of that stuff. So, Dominique McKenzie, like all those guys, just like really everybody in the whole entire room. There's not a single guy where like we're going routes and I'm like, oh, I got to throw to this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody. Like I'm excited to throw to everybody. Yeah. So I think the difference is like experience does speak.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's guys that have played in just more games, but the talent level's super high amongst everybody.
Yeah.
So
what's your first takes on Reggie? Frischnecht?
Yeah, I forgot about Reggie.
No,
I'm trying to jump my mind.
No, I'm not trying to put you in that spot.
No,
he came into the Q&A in our Discord recently, like I mean 2 weeks ago, and Trey was telling us that they did acceleration testing.
Reggie can fly.
Yeah. Like, so I'm just curious, like, about him. If you could talk about him for a sec.
Yeah. No, Reggie. So, like, they post on all the time. So let's say it's like a 10-yard acceleration or a 10-yard acceleration to like a 10-yard time section, and Reggie is like always top 3 or first on all the times. Like if one's a really good time, like super good, Reggie's like 0.9.
Wow.
So like Reggie can fly, and you can tell, like he's running an over or a dig, it just gets to the spot really fast, which is cool. Like having guys that can stretch the defense and take the top off, like that's big.
And he's not small. Like, what is he, like 6'3"?
Yeah, he's tall. Yeah,
like, so
6'3".
Yeah, a lot of guys with that frame aren't as twitchy as you'd expect like that. So I don't know. In my mind, that's an intriguing concept of like size and acceleration.
No, I know it's crazy, but he can really fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. Like we got a lot of burners in our room.
Maybe you're familiar with this. I assume that you are, but there's not a lot of humble defensive backs on our team. They're very confident. I won't say arrogant. I'll just say very confident.
Yeah.
And they were like, Reggie's fast.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
for sure.
Like if Trey and Shmev and Maury are saying that, like he must be fast. So.
Yeah, he's fast.
Yeah.
I know, but we'll see. It'll be fun to see how those guys compete against each other because you got a bunch of fast guys, Yeah. So. Okay,
so you've mentioned a few times that you're more of like an undersized quarterback for D1 at least. There.
Yeah.
What do you think if there's junior high kids listening or high school kids listening, you think like, oh man, I'm undersized, like I can't do this. What are some tips or tactics you think you can use to not like, oh, like everyone's like, oh, every ball is going to be tipped. It's like, well, go watch all the games at Utah State.
Yeah.
Count how many balls were tipped, right?
Uh-huh.
Or, oh, like he's not going to be able to throw across the middle or like whatever. How do you do that? Do you just play like regular, or do you have any like tips or tricks? Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, well, I have a story. It's funny.
Please.
So I was in Hawaii with my family, and for some reason it was just like an event with a bunch of food trucks and stuff. And Alex Smith was there. So NFL quarterback, and I don't know how tall Alex Smith is, probably 6'5", 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
But I was just talking to him about it, and like I wasn't even bringing up the fact that I was undersized or anything like that, and he was just like, and look, I understand to a certain extent. I think like guys want to comfort other guys, like, oh, I play quarterback and all this other stuff, but it's like we were having a genuine conversation. I was talking to him for about 20 minutes or so, and he's just like, I was kind of just asking him like, hey, what's it like playing around, big 6'8" guys? And it's like, whoever thinks that you can see over the line, it's like, that's not going to happen. Like everyone's seen through windows.
Yes.
Which is how it is, and sometimes, and I heard a clip of Brock Purdy, a lot of the times, you don't really, you know where the guy's at, you know, and you just, you know, you feel it out or you see him at one spot and then you're going to throw it there.
Yep.
Just because sometimes, you know, if there's a double team on someone's going to get a little bit more closed up if you're a little closer in the pocket.
You know where your windows are going to be,
right?
Or you know when they're going to break,
right?
In man, like,
exactly. So like, I mean, if I was 6'5", then maybe I'd have a little better of a chance if I got a bunch of depth. But I don't really think like I just think you just have to. For me, I just had to like realize like it doesn't really make any difference. It's the only thing I know.
Yeah.
So, and you know, hearing that from, you know, someone like Alex Smith, who was an NFL vet, I was like, yeah, well, what's stopping me? You know, so it's just play the game naturally. And yeah, I think, I mean, other tips, like, you know, like obviously I have speed. That's an asset of mine.
Yep.
And so using that and being an athlete too, I think that just helps all quarterbacks really. But I'd say just, you know, I think sometimes like saying, oh, like I'm undersized or that's what it is, you know, like I think I say that just because like that's what gets projected a lot. So it's kind of just like, oh, it is what it is. And I, you know, I think that's just what I say, but like, I don't think of that at all. You know, like I'm just like, you know, I'm here to go ball.
You're D1 quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, I mean, I think for the most part, like, I think it actually helps me. It gives me more confidence. It's like, I mean, I wasn't a 6'2" guy, but like I'm playing at this level. Like what skill did I need to have to compensate for that fact? You know?
Yeah.
So I just think of it honestly to my benefit, and it I don't really doesn't make me skip a beat.
Dude, listen, I've met Jaron Hall multiple times. I've also met Connor Pay, Blake Freeland, Harris LaChance. Try to think of those other boys, Alema, who play with you guys. I promise you, Jaron Hall could not see over his line. Connor Pay is 6'7", 6'7".
Tall guy, yeah.
Yeah, Blake's like 6'9". Harris is the smaller guy in the bunch. He's like 6'5". Like, I'm sorry, Jaron is 6 foot. You think 6'1" maybe in his cleats? I don't know. So I'm just saying, like, Jaron did just fine beating top P5 programs, and he did it with his feet. He did it with his arms. Balls didn't get batted down. And I think you're right. The windows are really where you're seeing anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have the highest release point in the world is not getting over someone who's 6'9", right? Yeah. If their pocket's collapsing on you.
Right. And I think like a big thing too, just like getting balls batted is like how fast. If you get out fast, like it's hard to react.
Yeah.
So you get it out fast. If it's out super quick and it's just a fast twitch, then I mean like you don't really got to worry about it. Yeah.
And I remember when I was coaching ball. So actually, I was we were rivals, man. I don't know if you knew this. So I was the OC at Spanish Fork for several years. I think it's before. I don't think we ever called games against each other. Yeah, but I think we missed each other by a few years.
Maybe, yeah.
We at Spanish Fork we like go do clinics and stuff. And one of the things I watched the whole clinic on Mike Leach, who knows a little bit about passing the football.
Yeah,
and he talks about subtly widening splits for the O line. On his obvious passing downs, 100%. So the passing lanes are better view for the quarterback.
Yeah.
Widening a split here, widening a split there. So like the true masters of the craft, like they really understand that you're throwing through these gaps, right? You're seeing through these windows and gaps in the line.
For sure.
So
yeah, no, 100%. I agree. And that's, to guys, quarterbacks that are a little bit smaller compared to, the NFL guys, which are all huge dudes. I mean, except for couple, it's like, yeah, you just gotta realize and trust, like, hey, it's gonna be mostly the same for just about everybody unless I'm 6'7" or 6'8", which I don't know how many NFL quarterbacks are 6'7" or 6'8", or massive guys. So, and maybe you've read the book, but there's a great book called from Steve Young called QB, My Life Behind the Spiral, or something. Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't read it though. It's a great book. It's it's an interesting read. Like it'll keep you engaged the whole time. Yeah. And he talks about he didn't throw blind until he was in the NFL. And his coaches were like, why didn't you throw to Jerry? He's like, I couldn't see him. And he's like, Jerry's always in the right spot. Yeah. So he's like, so the next game, I took a chance. I figured he's got to be behind this DB. The safety's not in the right spot. I'm just going to throw blind on a go. Yeah. He threw his first touchdown blind, and he was like, oh, I could throw a lot more touchdowns. I don't have to be able to see him. Right. So I think there's a lot to what you're saying here, and it translates to the NFL level as well. Yeah, I agree for sure. Okay, important stuff now. Yeah, Aggie ice cream or BYU Creamery ice cream. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I ever went to Aggie ice cream. I have gone to BYU Creamery though, so I think that's the answer for you.
Dude, my wife is an Aggie,
So
she went up, played or attended college up there.
Yep.
And so when we go up to Bear Lake, we always stop on campus and get ice cream. Bro, they have the funkiest names for stuff. Like,
really?
If I go to BYU, I see Graham Canyon. I'm going to assume there's graham crackers in it.
Yeah.
If I go up to like there, I see purple sagebrush, like whatever. I'm like, what's in this? Like,
lavender or something?
Yeah, I don't know. But every ice cream I've had up there has been decent, though.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's good stuff. You might have missed out.
I know, I probably did. I've heard the Aggie Blue Mint's kind of the one that you got to go to. I heard that's like the famed one.
See, I haven't tried that one, but I'm not like a big mint person. So.
Yeah, I don't know, but no, I'll sneak out with my girlfriend, and it's on a warm night, and I'll go get some ice cream with her. At
Absolutely,
the Creamery on night.
Do you have a favorite? A go-to?
I like Graham Canyon.
Yeah,
solid. That one's good. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big chocolate guy.
Okay.
But I like anything strawberry. I like the sherbets and stuff too, so that's always good. Whatever. I'm pretty easy. Yeah.
Not too particular on that stuff.
Huh?
All right. This is my last Utah State question.
Okay.
The Spectrum or the Marriott Center? It's a tough one.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'll tell you what. The Spectrum it's pretty rowdy.
Yes.
Like. You just look at the fans. They got a bunch of posters that says, I don't even know. Like, no way it'd be allowed in the Marriott Center.
Right.
And then, they get rowdy. It's definitely a lot older at the Spectrum.
Yeah.
But I think just Marriott Center. Yeah. I think I always felt like when the games are bigger, I just feel like the environment's bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like Big 12. Like some, all the best teams are really from the Big 12. Like you got Kansas, Arizona, like all the blue bloods.
Yeah.
At least when I was growing up, I don't watch a ton
Texas
of basketball.
Tech is solid. Houston's solid. Yeah. Like Kansas State is solid. Like it's a great basketball conference. Probably the basketball conference.
Yeah. But I'd go Marriott Center.
Yeah. I think to give the Spectrum their props. Like at the Marriott Center, you've got high-level donors who are the ones sitting close to the court, minus where the Rock is. And at the Spectrum, you got students right there all around.
True.
You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like you get that rowdiness everywhere. That Rock is super rowdy, and then the upper bowl is super rowdy. But that lower bowl, you got to...
Pretty chill.
It gets a little chill sometimes.
Yeah.
Some people with...
No, I see that.
Their bow ties and suede shoes, like
that's right.
Not going to get so rowdy.
Yeah. No, I see that, though, for sure. I will say. I went to a couple games at Utah State, and I was like, surprised the administration isn't like saying we should take that poster down or something. It's just funny stuff, which, I was entertained by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Parting thoughts, parting words. What is Cougar Nation? What should we know as we close it out here?
Really just, be excited for the season. I think it's going to be a great year. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think the team's collectively set on like, hey, we want to go win, a Big 12 championship. We want to push it in the playoff. We want to be the best in the nation.
Yeah.
And I think we train that way. And I think, we work that way. So I think just be ready, be excited, and there's good things coming.
Awesome. Thanks for coming, McCae.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks a ton.
Yeah, dude. And guys, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe at CougConnect.com. The money goes to support players like McCae, help get and retain amazing talent here, and just also gets you great access and an ability to connect with players. So that's all we got. Go Cougs.
Sweet. Yep. Go Cougs.